is finally snapshot time. I am crazy excited because the new snapshot for the Nether update just dropped, and this thing is huge. We got a ton of new biomes, some new mobs, and even new blocks, and some crazy, insane, absolutely ridiculous god tier level armor and tools that we have to talk about. So let's jump in. So here we are inside of Minecraft, and I've already just gone ahead and joined the Nether because this is all about the Nether update. We are not talking about the overworld, we're talking about the Nether in this entire video. And as you can see, once you join in, everything is different. You have some crazy biomes. You can just see that the fog changed drastically for me. You have these new trees, you have new soul sand stuff, you have new pillars coming from the ground, you have this crazy blue fire. There is so much to cover in this video, so let's jump in. Starting off, we're going to be talking about biomes, and then we're going to move into some of the mobs and the items, some crazy items and materials coming up. So first, let's talk about this area. This is called the Soul Sand Valley. In the Soul Sand Valley, it's a lot more barren than the other biomes that we're going to be talking about. You're going to see normal soul sand, and you're going to see this new stuff, soul soil. I was doing some stuff earlier, so ignore some of that redstone that was on the ground. We'll come over here to a fresh area. So, as I mentioned, soul sand and soul soil, and soul soil is new. Some cool stuff about soul soil is that it is a full block, unlike soul sand. If I go over here and just walk between the two, so between soul sand and soul soil, you can see that I barely move up and down a little itty bitty amount. That's because soul sand is not a full block. What does that mean? That means that a lot of stuff that you can do with full blocks, like put redstone down, can't do that on soul sand, but you can do that on soul soil, like I'm mentioning, is a full and huge block, and you don't move as slow on soul soil as you do in soul sand. Another new interesting part of the world generation is these crazy pillars. You can see one here, see one over there. There's some over here generated, and these pillars are made with a new type of block called basalt. It has this crazy sound. I have my sounds turned like really up high so you can hear all the crazy new stuff, because there's a lot of sounds that are different, like soul sand. Unfortunately, these freaking ghasts, I'm trying to turn, I'll just turn them off. You're not going to hear ghast sounds this whole episode. But here, listen to, spooky. Yeah, soil has the sound of dirt and sort of the overlay a little bit of soul sand. And then basalt sounds like gravel in a way. As you can see, as I'm placing this down, basalt can be placed in different orientations. So by default, it's placed, generated in the world in this upward orientation where the top looks a lot like cobblestone, but this is just like a log where you can place it on its side, just like that, so you can have the texture a little bit different, or in any axis orientation. And it does have a little bit of motivation, so it looks very vertical whenever it generates in, but you can change that to look horizontal whenever you place it down because of the way the texture looks. So you can have some really cool looking stuff. It looks almost like petrified bark in a way. I do feel like it's very motivated to look like the pillars of lava that have sort of petrified and frozen there. Also in the Soul Sand Valley, and you'll kind of notice this in a whole bunch of other biomes as well, but you have these new fossils of the unknown creatures that will spawn. So you have a great new source of bone block, which I absolutely love because bone meal early game can be really, really powerful, but it's really hard to come by. So heading into the Nether, finding a Soul Sand Valley and mining up some of this block, these fossil blocks, would be a great source of bone meal, because when you put it in a crafting table, it turns into 9 bone meal for you to use. So there are those fossils all over in the world generation. Also, you have a little bit of plants spawning, these crimson roots, which we're going to kind of show the original place that crimson roots spawn from a little bit later on. You also have this blue fire, and blue fire happens whenever you light soul soil on fire. So you can see the soul soil is blue, soul sand, not a full block, so it won't, whoops, that's soul soil that I just lit. Soul sand will not light on fire. And netherrack is still the same red that we've always expected from netherrack. So here in this soul sand valley, netherrack is red, but the moment you turn on the soul soil, then it is blue. Also, basalt, where's my basalt pillars over here, that will burn red. So no fancy color there. So soil will still be blue right next to it. Now, you've obviously noticed that the fog, the nether fog, has a very blue tint to it, a sort of light blue teal tint to it. But there's also particles in the air, and you can sort of see them. There's some, it looks sort of like falling ash that kind of goes straight down. And we'll see the use of particles and this fog in a whole bunch of other places in the nether later on too. So just keep that in mind, that the Soul Sand Valley has the light blue, almost cyan color, and the falling ash. Also, when it comes to hostile mobs, the hostile mobs that spawn in this area are the Endermen and the skeletons, along with some ghasts. So those are really the only things that spawn in this area. If you've noticed some things that are placed down, like the command blocks, I did that, and the same thing with the redstone. I was just playing around earlier. Small aside is that there is a new locate biome command, which I absolutely love, because we are going to use it to go find the next biome, the warped forest, and it works wonderfully. Here is some warped forest. So the warped forest is a much more lush and overgrown area in the nether. This is the first time that we are getting a look at some new trees, some actual grass looking like stuff on the ground, and this is a much more peaceful area than the other areas. So this block that is on the ground that looks an awful lot like grass, that is actually warped nylam. Kind of reminds me of mycelium, but it is nylam instead. So it has this really, really cool look to it, and also some cool sounds to it. Also, on the ground, you have a few different types of plants. You have warped sprouts, you have warped roots, and you also have a fungus, a fun guy. I'm a fun guy, I swear. Here it is. You got some warped fungi, crimson fungi every once in a while, and same thing with the crimson roots. I can't tell if that's popping in from other biomes over here, or if that's natural generation. But then obviously you have these trees, these crazy trees, and the trees look an awful lot like the fungi, the warped fungi, because you have the stem, you have the nether wart looking leaves, which we're going to get to in a moment, and you have those crazy glowstone looking blocks, which we're going to get to in a second. So they kind of look the same. Also, once again, pay attention to the sound. It sounds super duper crazy and weird. All this stuff has amazing sound. The sound design is incredible. So let's talk about these trees in a little bit more detail by actually looking at their blocks. This stem block is a warped stem, but don't be fooled, because this is basically a new type of wood. It makes you feel like warped stem. The stem blocks we've seen in the past have all been from mushrooms, but this can make warped planks. Warped planks can make warped buttons, can make, you know, really, I mean, crafting tables. So it's a new wood type, and this wood looks weird. It is crazy green. It has these veins. The veins animate, so you can see that they sort of have a prismarine style of feel to them because they animate around. It just looks incredible and awesome, and I really like the new color type for the wood. The leaves of these trees are made out of warped wart block, and just like the nether wart block, this can't be crafted out of itself into something else. So you have the warped wart, and remember, this is the warped roots on the ground. So all of this is the warped forest. Something I'm very excited about is this new light emitting block called the shroom light. I like to think of it as the fungus light. Has a weird sound when you put it down as well. super creepy, and it emits light, which is super awesome. Anytime there's a new light emitting block in Minecraft, I feel like, oh, the seas of change are upon us. This block is gonna be amazing because light is so darn important inside of Minecraft. Doesn't craft out of itself into anything. Now let's talk about the fog and the particles. You can see that there's this dark blue, almost purple like fog to this area, and you can see that the particles scatter. They're more energetic and they kind of bounce around. They sort of swirl in the air, if you will. This area also is very, very friendly when it comes to the hostile mobs that spawn. I sort of mentioned this earlier. As I'm flying around, you see that really the only thing that is spawning is Endermen. That's because you're not getting skeletons, you're not getting ghasts, you're really the only mob that is spawning is Enderman, which is awesome. It kind of makes a cool Enderman grinder area in a way, because you just get so many of them spawning because nothing else is going to spawn in this area. But it also, like I said, makes this area very friendly to players. You're not going to be attacked by a random skeleton, or even pigmen don't spawn in this area. So very, very friendly area. Moving on to another biome. This is the Crimson Forest biome. This is obviously going to be very similar to the Warped Forest biome, except it is a different color and it has a few different aspects to it as well. You can already see that there are pigmen and hoglins spawning, and we're going to get to those in just a moment. So the world generation is basically the same, but the new different type of block. So where before we had the warped Nylum, now we have crimson Nylum. We still have the crimson fungi and warped fungi, where before we had the warped roots, now we have crimson roots. And the logs, or I guess I should call them stems, the stems and the leaves, this is a crimson stem, has a very similar look, except that it is red, and this does the exact same thing that the warped stem does, which is turn into a really cool looking plank, which can then be turned into doors, buttons, all the different things that wood can, stairs, all that sort of stuff, and it has a really, really neat look to it. The leaves are just straight up nether wart blocks. Remember, nether wart blocks cannot be turned from the block back into nether wart, although it does create nether wart can be used in order to craft this block. So you're not going to be able to have a great source of nether wart from this Crimson Forest. You're still going to need to go into the nether fortress, find nether wart growing there, and use that to do your potion making. There's also a vine, these crazy weird looking vines. These are called weeping vines, and they will come down off of the nether wart, and you also have the shroom lights that will spawn here inside of these mushroom tree like things. Weeping vines are so weird. Okay, so let's also talk about the things that spawn here, the hoglins. There really isn't a ton to say about the hoglins as of yet. They are a new creature. They I don't even need this armor. They will not do a ton. So I'm gonna go over here to this hoglin and smack him. Hey, there we go. Smacking a hoglin. Why can't I hit this hoglin? My lantern. There we go. His legs kind of go super duper crazy. They go like into his forehead whenever. Come on, let's go, hoglin. Let's go. I think his hitbox is super weird, but he drops experience and rotten flesh as a food. So not a whole bunch of exciting news there. I thought that those were going to be like a very, a food that you could use in the nether. If it's just rotten flesh, it's not going to be very useful. But they don't get mad at you. They just die immediately, just like pigs. And they drop rotten flesh as they're dropped. So that's really all there is to say about hoglins, other than the Crimson Forest is the only spot that they spawn. So if you're going to want to find a hoglin, you're going to need to head into the Crimson Forest in order to do it. Also, the sort of atmosphere of this area, the fog is very, very red, and you have this sort of like almost like ash particle or sparks that are sort of floating through the air, almost like embers, and they're very energetic in this area. What I'm about ready to say is very, very, very exciting and insane. I didn't think that the developers would do something like this in the game of Minecraft. Diamond is no longer the most powerful, the strongest, and the best tier of weapon and armor. There is a new tier of weapon and armor, as you can see right here, called Netherite. Netherite is more powerful, more durable, and more incredible than diamond. Here's what it looks like when you put it on. Ooh, that helmet looks so cool. It has jowls. You got the breastplate, the leggings, and the boots. And then you can have a sword as well. There are all of the tools. So over here in the tools, you got shovels, picks, axes, and hoes. Holy moly, I don't know how you would ever use that. This diamond sword is, if I hover over it, you can see that the durability is 1,561 uses. You can also get a 0 use out of that. So technically it's 1,562 uses, and the netherite sword is 2,032 uses because you can use on a durability of 0 on that. That is incredible. You have almost a fourth more use out of this sword. You can also see the attack damage is now 8 instead of 7. So that makes this the most powerful thing in Minecraft. Now the big question is, how do you get it? What is the process in order to obtain this new type of armor and stuff? It's kind of it's a process. So let's jump into it. Okay, so here is how you start the process of getting netherite. It is a brand new material that has world generation. So right now I am under the nether. So here we are at the very bottom of the nether, and what I'm telling you right now, this is what I've sort of figured out through everyone else that has been noticing these sorts of things. So take it all with a grain of salt. There is going to definitely be a video all about explaining netherite and everything. This is so far just preliminary results. So down here at the very bottom, you can see that this is the bedrock layer of the nether. I've gone ahead and removed all of the netherrack, and every once in a while there are very small pockets of this new block called ancient debris, and you can see that they are very small. So this is very similar to how diamond would spawn in the overworld. Still have not found the correct Y level at which would be the most effective place to find this. I'm not even sure if the bottom of the nether is the best place to find the ancient debris, but that's where I've had the best luck so far. There may be another level of the nether that would be the best. So this would really give you an incentive to head into the nether and actually mine and start looking for this block. It's a very rare block. I've been flying around in spectator mode and trying to find it just kind of on the surface, just in general, and I haven't found it. So far it looks like going down and mining around to find it is going to be your best option. So once you find this block, I'm going to use a diamond pick and switch into survival and start to mine it. You do need a diamond level item in order to mine it. And there you go. You can see that it picks up just like any other block. It does take a little while to mine. It's not quite as long as obsidian, but it's not a very fast block to mine up. Now, once you have the ancient debris, what do you do with it? How do you use it? Now it is time to smelt your ancient debris. So I'm going to put down a furnace, and I'm also going to put down a blast furnace. So we're going to throw our ancient debris, and I'm just going to grab a whole bunch of it, and throw it into a furnace with a single piece of coal. And all it's going to do is just smelt over into the new type of item, and that is not netherite scrap. So for each block of this that you find, you are going to need to smelt it into the scrap. And over here in a blast furnace, it will work wonderfully. I forgot all my fuel. Here we go. Let's grab some coal. Blast furnace will be, this is a block that can be used in a blast furnace if you want to make this process a little bit faster. Now that you have the netherite scrap, you need at least 4 of it and 4 gold ingots. And so with 4 gold ingots and 4 netherite scrap, that will craft a netherite ingot. And this can be in any orientation. This is a shapeless crafting recipe. So you'll need to use your gold and your netherite in order to make your ingots. And I assume, yeah, you gotta actually, like, you know, put them out here. And boop, there you go. So there is your netherite ingot. So to reiterate, find the ancient debris, mine it, smelt it into netherite scrap. Then you take that netherite scrap with 4 golden ingots, and then you get a single netherite ingot. Now that you have this ingot, luckily you do not need to have all the ingots in order to make the armor. So if you use all the normal armor recipes and tool recipes to get to the netherite, you're like, wait, what the heck? I'm not making what I want. What you do is you first have to craft the diamond level version of whatever you want, and then place that with a single ingot in the crafting table, and it will basically cover that in netherite and will be the item. So we have your diamond chest plate that has toughness of 2, armor of 8. The output is a toughness of 3, knockback resistance 1, which is a big deal. If you're wearing this, you're not going to get knocked around a lot. This will work with tools as well. And as you can see, even though I have some durability gone off of this pickaxe, it will make a fresh pickaxe. The durability does not matter, and that'll work with all the other tools as well, and same thing with all of the other items as well. So we could take this. You can see the well, that has attack speed. I thought it was going to have mining speed, but the attack damage is increased to 6 with this pick. Now, what happens if you have an enchantment on your pick? So let's just give ourselves efficiency 5 on this pick. If we use a crafting table in order to do it, we lose the enchantment. If you use an anvil in order to add to the process, it doesn't do anything. So this doesn't actually craft the tool that you want. And surprise, surprise, if you use a grindstone, this doesn't work either. So you're going to want to make sure that you don't have an enchantment or curse or whatever on this that you want to keep around, because you're going to lose it in that process. Now, the good news is that the enchantment level of netherite tools and armor is higher. So you're going to get better enchantments off of these tools and armor when you do use the enchanting table. Now, this is not as high as gold. Gold has a really, really high enchantment level, so that if you're just trying to, you know, put any enchantment on to a golden pick, you might get efficiency 5. And, you know, with a diamond pick, you'd only get efficiency 3, that sort of thing. So netherite has a higher level, so you could get a higher base value on your enchantments, but it's still not as high as gold. Gold still has the winning value in that regard. Now, one really, really interesting thing about these tools, armor, and ingots is that inside of lava, please don't, right, inside of lava, if I throw all of them out into the lava, there you go, they float. I think I threw it into a deep area. So you can see that you have all of your netherite items will not be lost in lava because they float to the top, and you can come back if you had died or whatever. If you are a sad person, come back over, just pick up all your items out of the lava because they actually float inside of lava as if it were water. This is a product of the Nether, so of course lava's not gonna hurt it, just like any other lava thing. There it is. The other one I threw in there is just I threw it in too deep. And there are netherite blocks Look at how cool that sounds. That may be the most defined block I have ever seen. I've always used, you know, smooth stone or the iron block to have a easy to count block amount. Netherite may take that. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, you can easily count how many blocks that is. Holy moly, and it has an amazing sound to it. Obviously, you would be doing that in a 3x3, so it would take 9. Holy moly, that'd be so much mining to do in order to get that. Okay, I just want to put this stuff on. Am I? Oh my gosh, I'm already wearing leather. Oh my god, it sounds so amazing. Look at that. Oh, awesome. It's supposed to be a lot faster than diamond. I don't know about that. Okay. Holy moly! Oh my god, this is taking forever. Holy cow, this would take forever to mine. Wow, that is like it's your very own personal obsidian. Let's go ahead and give this thing efficiency of 5. Whoo! Ha! That's some fast mining. I have all the armor on. Do you think I could like? You think it has fire resistance if I were to like jump into this lava? Nope! Ow! It hurts! Oh gosh! Help me! I'm gonna die! I'm gonna die right here. Nothing I can do. Bye, cruel world. So obviously there is a ton of new blocks, and there are still 2 more that I really need to get to that are just awesome and incredible. But I just kind of want to lay everything out here all in one area. You have the red and blue variants of the Nylem, the wood, the stripped oak, all the planks, stairs. You have now technically the nether wart block that's been in the game before, but the warped nether wart block. You have all of the netherite and ancient debris. Then you have all of the different things that wood makes, which is just incredible. I really like the signs. The signs have a little bit of that bark to them, that bark look to them, which is incredible. Then you have all of the different types of plants. You also have all the redstone sort of things like buttons and whatnot, and doors. These doors look incredible. Absolutely love these doors. And let's finally get to it. We have another new type of, oh, and I don't even have the shroom light. Oh my gosh, the shroom light. You can't forget about the shroom light. So there you go. So you have the shroom light as well. Let's talk a little bit about the soul fire torch and the soul fire lantern. These are also new light emitting types of blocks, and this is going to be kind of the last thing we talk about today. This is how you make the torch. You do need some soul soil at the bottom of your normal old torch recipe, and then you'll get the soul fire torch. The soul fire torch does emit a little bit less light than a normal torch, so it's a light level of 10 instead of light level 14 with a normal torch, but it has that really cool blue look. And then the lantern is basically the same lantern recipe, except you're using a soul fire torch instead of just a normal torch. So you're just using the iron nuggets around a torch, and that will give you the soul fire lantern. Both look really cool and add some really neat atmosphere into the game. Some small things to note. We're really getting into the last little details of this update. Is that if you have bone meal and you're in a biome that will support the Nylem, so here we are, and you can use bone meal next to the Nylem, and it will grow further on, so you can bone meal Nylem into existence if you have netherrack and a block next to some Nylem, which is really nice. Over here, too far away, I'd need to do this one, and then I could do that one. So you do need it to be, and it looks like diagonally works. So right here, can't do it until I do that one, and then I can do these ones over here. If there is any area that looks like the old nether, that does still exist. So you still have the old nether sort of areas. That is now renamed to the nether wastes. So if you see an old area that looks like the nether, that is the nether wastes. There are obviously a few new particles because of all of the crazy particle stuff. There's also ocean ruins and shipwrecks. Those are more rare now. So if you find them, hooray, very cool. Another small detail is walls. If you stack them vertically like this, they will no longer have gaps in them. So before you got a much weirder sort of situation. Now walls look a lot better. Also, you can kind of create a pillar. I just love walls look really, really neat now. So walls are all fixed. And finally, patrols will not spawn if you are close to a village. So if you're next to a village, patrol will not spawn. I love this. You got a little window. This is like a little, hello, can I take your order? Take some carpet. This is my little shelf. There you go. Hello, I would like to take an order. Would you like fries with that? Thank you. So patrols, once again, just to reiterate, because I was kind of focused on this wall, they will not spawn if you're next to a village, so a lot less annoying for that. And that wraps it up for this incredible long video about the snapshot. I love this. Love it, love it, love it. I can't wait to see more, and I'm going to be doing a lot of videos about some of the individual features because they're all sort of hidden in this one super long video. So we're going to go through, we're going to be making videos all about the Netherite and all the things to do with that, best places to find them, but how to craft everything explained. So we're gonna do a sort of explanation videos, individual videos. So you may, if you've watched this long video, there may be some repeat videos coming in the future because you guys are so amazing. So thanks for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video and found something useful and exciting out of it. If you did, please give this video a big ol' thumbs up. Also make sure you subscribe for future videos, tips, tricks, tutorials, and spotlights here on OMG Craft. We'll see you in the next video. Bye.